Can you just tell us a little bit about how the Bluebells came into existence?
Well, after that cafe gig, I did kind of like leave Oxfam Warriors, who even they weren't called that, behind, and because all the images, I've been a big part of their whole thing at the start. I was going down with them to do their first radio session and all that stuff. That wasn't doing anything, just hanging out, and going to all their gigs and all that kind of stuff, and support them a couple of times, obviously. But then they were kind of down in London getting signed, and I was kind of like hanging about with a postcard more and more. And then Alan said, let's see some of your songs, and he said, that's not a bad song, and that kind of stuff, man. Right? You should try and get another band. So I asked Rodeo, who I'd seen in Mars Bar, and I was writing about them in my fanzine, and their drummer was fitting in with my ethos of the 14-year-old. Genius drummer thing I was going for, right, and even the manager I asked at the time, Mark, he was 15, 16, I met him in the Rock Garden, then we managed the band, but he was, he came to our first gig, and Russell was working in H&V, they had a clothes shop, they sold Vivian Wedgwood stuff, and he was a real good looking man about town, man, like really good style, and Lawrence I'd already met, he was like, I think he was the Jazzateers that started, and he looked like a double coat on, he's a really good guy, he's really good. And then we had a few rehearsals, and it just kind of worked really well. And Ken was coming down as a kind of chaperone for his brother, and I was singing, right, and Ken would play harmonica, and I was thinking to myself, well, we could look like the Birds here, we could do that, I could be Roger, and he could be Gene, and I always thought it was a good look for a man to having more than one singer, or a singer singing, and a guy just at the side of a bit of tambourine, and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of how we did our first gig. We played at Strathclyde supporting Louie Louie, then we did a gig at our own at the Rock Garden, and then and Mark was there, and he was saying that it was like we did cocky and shit. Man, I knew him anyway from our scene. It was part of the Old Images thing, Clear Friends. So we got into managers. And I remember Billy Sloan. There's a big thing with Billy at the time. Me and Billy are really good friends now, but we'd been using Billy. I wrote a letter to the NME and signed to Billy Sloan. I should have done it, man. But that's the kind of thing you did, right? Saying, like Glasgow isn't really about Old Images now. It's more about Scathfish and in the end game. Because his show was, he was a really good guy, Billy. I wish I hadn't done it, but I did it, and then they printed it. But it was even though I was Billy Sloan the letter, I was sending him up. And they were more or less saying, you sound like a complete loser, man, you should fuck off, man, right? The answer to his letter, man, right, saying it, because it was like, why did NME not write about these great bands up here, right? And then, so he got really mad about this, quite rightly, and he wrote a letter back the next week saying, I'm no Billy Sloan, and this and that, and unlike the prick who wrote that letter, blah, 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 and I wrote at the end of it, he wrote, P.S. I've seen the future of rock and roll, and his name is Robert Hodgens, right? Right? Meaning he knew it was me who wrote it, right? Yeah. But that didn't have the effect he thought it was going to have. Instead, it made people think that was really he meant it, as a. So I was getting, people were going, oh, do you Robert Hodgens, you want to play here? Do you want to do that? Because Billy Sloan said you're really good. I was going thinking, no, he didn't mean it that way, man. He meant it the completely opposite way, man. Yeah. So that kind of again, the biggest profile thing was Corf's postcard, and then but the more gigs we supported Orange Juice, obviously, and things like that. But then we used to get letter. I got a letter one time from it just said on it, Bobby Bluebell, Glasgow, right, right, and it still got to me, but it was from Mick Hayward, right, saying, I saw your picture in the NME, really like you to support her, because I had this big guitar, right, right, this I can't remember what it's called, man, a Astoria guitar thing, and I showed it to Alan, and I was going, I want to do this, right, and he goes, then, but unknown to me, Alan then got in touch with Nick Cave and said, oh, the Bluebells aren't ready to do it, can I take camera do it instead? Right. And then unknown to Alan, Nick wrote back saying, I sorry you can't do it, but Aztec camera, they sound really good, are they good? Because what do you mean we can't do it? And he goes, oh, your manager guy said you can't do it, and he goes, he's not a manager, and he said, Aztec camera can do it, so we had a kind of fallout about that, and we did the Nick Hayward tour, and then we kind of got a lot of attention, cuttings from that, and then we were doing this ICA week, Scottish week, and they always came down to see us, and we'd all put on these Wrangler Bluebell jackets, you know, with 12-string guitars and episodes. And I remember afterwards, he said, I've never seen that. It was the best thing I've seen in fucking years. He says, the only way you're going to make it in this business is not fit in, and you just don't know. And because at that time it was all kind of gothy and bunny-menish, and we were looking like, you know, the monkeys, man. You know, we didn't do it on purpose. We thought we looked quite cool. We didn't realise we were fucking we were geeky. We didn't realise it was all looking quite geeky and tree, man. We thought we were fucking quite hard, man. You know, and then. So he was wanting to record us, and as soon as he wanted to record us, virtually every record company wanted to sign us, you know, so we got signed up pretty quickly after that.
So was that London?
London. It was going to be CBS first,
right.
And then I made a big mistake going out to, I think it was actually might have been Prince at Camden Palace, and then they were there, Roger Ames and Tracy Bennett, and I was there with Siobhan, and I was steaming, you know, and they were kind of going, no, you're a fucking mug sign, and then, you know, to CBS, they won't do anything. We know exactly what we want to do, and blah blah blah. And then we go, Siobhan's on the label with us. You know, you'd be doing things together and all that. And I was thinking, because I was living with her at the time, and I was thinking, all right, that sounds. Next day we went. I told Ken and David, I said, I think we should sign in London, and so we went to meet CBS anyway. A guy called Mark Winwood, and we said, oh, we're going to sign to London, you know, and he was dead nice about it. Kind of wish I had signed to CBS at the same time, man, but London were good, and we signed to London anyway, and that was us signed up, and I was taking camera on our trade, and or just were on Polydor and Old Images and CBS. All seemed like the stars had lined up, you know.
Yeah. And you signed with Seymour Stein as well. Yeah,
that was just after we signed to London. Yeah, but we were playing America. He came to see us. He came with Madonna actually, and then you know. I mean, we didn't know it. She wasn't anything that.
Right. So Madonna came to see you
with him, yeah.
Right, okay.
And, but I mean, there wasn't really much interaction. She was just there, you know, and like, you know, I didn't give a fuck who she was. I mean, you know, but I remember saying to Siobhan, she looked like that girl looks dead like you, you know. I mean, and I mean, think about it. She took our panorama, the whole look. I think even the music is really like Panorama, you know. Anyway, that's my theory anyway. But and then when we came back from America, I mean, and Siobhan were kind of like splitting up, and I came back up to Glasgow and that, and then it was good because you've really got to concentrate and having a hit. I mean, you've really got to show the record company. We ended up losing Lawrence and Russell, but I wish I hadn't done it. But there was a kind of point where you kind of have to listen to what record companies say if you want to have, because what record companies do is, it doesn't matter how well, if you think the record's good or bad, it's whether they want to put money into it that it's going to take you up to the next level, plug-in and stuff like that, man, you know. And if you resist them too much, what would be the incentive to do that, you know? If you think, well, you signed to us, we're artists repertoire, we're the guys that are trying to show you to get your song played. You know, when he got to Seymour Stein, I was very impressed with that, man. You know, I mean, it was, he signed us and Bunnymen and Depeche Mode, I think everything at the same kind of time, and so you got to start thinking, well, they know. I wanted to be top boss. I wanted to have hits. I wasn't ever thinking about it. I was thinking this will stop, and I'll go back to working in an architect's office or whatever I'm going to do, man. You know. So then you have hits, and then you know. It happened to everybody, Orange Juice, last time. I mean, you go down the fucking world playing places and you come back, and we had a particularly good time, you know, and then you got to go and record again, and you kind of haven't, when you first get recorded, you've got tons of ideas and tons of songs, but when you're on the road, you don't really finish doing a gig, travel, and think, I'll get my guitar out now and write a fucking song. You just think, let's all meet down here, or let's go to that place, it's a great club up there, you know. So we were doing all those things, and then you come back, and then you know, you haven't been around for 6 months, and there's Lloyd Coles and everything, and you know, there's a whole new set of things, you know, and you know, everything's fresher and better, you know, than what came before, you know. So you've got to try and compete with that, you know.